Our company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. Trying to get my stand position here a little better. I got asked a few times and a few forum sites about our Crystal Edge 2.0 screen paint products. Oh, actually, screen paints are not products. We only have one of them. And asking about gray screen paint products and what they should cost. Now, as I told you before, we used to make gray screen paint products. We were making them 9 years back. So 9 years back, this is a product that's actually pretty old. And with that being said, these particular products that you are seeing now are basically, a lot of them are untested, which means they have no form of test demonstrations back in the products claiming what they are. Now, we've had to test our products against network gray, different forms of gray screen paint products, certified screens, ultra short throws, just about everything, and everything was done in a max out zone, which means we used a lot of light in the demonstrations to show that our screen paint was different from everybody else because it was actually real ambient light rejection technology. On top of that, putting it against certified screens. But from what I see from a lot of the screen paints that I've seen so far, none of them have been able to match the test demonstrations under our products. Not one. Also, I don't see them testing their products at all, period, especially against the Network Gray 773. And I don't see tests being done on all their products, which is actually a very, very bad sign also, too. So, here we have a fellow who claims his products to be the best. This is why I tell customers you got to watch out when you're dealing with people at the end of the day that are making huge accusations that their products can do all these things, but they have no tests to back them up. Now, a friend of mine was telling me that his site is still closed. I popped on there today. It is actually still closed. And the reason why, I mean, between many reasons why the site is closed, but there's a number of reasons why. So we have a $38 screen paint out. Again, as I said before, screen paints a day should be under 50 bucks because, again, this is a product that's been out for a very long time. But also, too, comparing our tests versus these products right here, and we'll show you some other ones, but versus these products right here, they really don't back up what they say they can do. This particular product, and not to go at this guy because you think I'm going after him, no, it's just true. This guy actually, when you put a product out there, you have to be able to back the product. Let's see if I can get my stand. For some reason, I don't know why the neck of my stand is too, it's too low, and it should be higher than that. There we go. I'm trying to bring it to the neck. I got one of those necks that basically move around. But anyway, as I said before, if you're going to make accusations about your products, you have to be able to back them up. If I say that 2.0 has the ability to take on certified screens, I have to be able to back that up. If I say that 2.0 basically can be used in a fully lit environment and it's ambient light rejection, I have to back that up. All the things that I say about the 2.0 has to be backed up. You can't just say things on camera and then never do the tests and then expect for people to believe in them. Also, too, like I said, prices are way too high. $160 for a product that has been around for not over 9 years? No, that's just too much money right from the door, especially when it hasn't been tested. Now, like I said, this is one of the other individuals who claims to be the king when it comes to making screen paint products, but yet his site is constantly closed. And the reason why it's closed because, again, there's a lot of strikes against it. Like I said, number one, it can't back up what it's designed to do. Number two, and in one of the demonstrations, it was about 15 minutes long or so. It was a good amount of minutes long video, but to go through that entire process just to have it match the back wall in a theater room is an extremely bad thing to happen. He matched house paint. He just did the same thing the other one did. Another thing you have is your application. It takes too long to apply the screen. No one's going to sit there and do a full code application. It's just too much work. They're just not going to do it. And then $160. No one's going to pay for that at all, period. It's just too much money for a product that you really can't back up at the end of the day. I've been dying to see this multi-complex system where it's basically supposed to be a stacking system that converts the screen into this super mega screen. But again, I haven't seen any test demonstrations yet. So this is a fellow who goes by the name of Parte AV, who claims that his products are supposed to be superior, but every time we turn around, his site is always closed. I mean, constantly closed. He just recently just said he opened it. We opened it in February of 2022 to shut it down and then try to reopen it in July the 25th to close it down again. So he's always claiming he's out of stock. He's not out of stock. He just ain't making any money. I mean, we pretty much added up and crunched the numbers, but that has nothing to do with this here nor there. It's whether or not the product can back itself. And again, with a $38 screen paint, that is has the ability to do things that his product cannot do, including paint this screen on in no time at all. Yeah, it clearly shows that the product we have is much more superior, and they just can't back it up. You have to be careful about products that are untested, because these are products that, again, at the end of the day, could end up matching house paint, which is something you do not want. Let me see something for a minute. I gotta track something for a minute. I'm gonna put you guys to the side real quick. I gotta check something really quick. This is why we have our demonstrations tested. I'm not going to come up there and make a gray screen paint and we have no test attached to it. That's just downright stupid. So it has to be test attached to all tests. And keep in mind, gentlemen, I can't express this enough. You don't test one product, you test all of them. Not one, all of them. All your products need to have at least an hour or two, at least I think more you need an hour than that. You need about 3 hours of testing on your products, literally. 3 hours of testing. You should at least have 3 hours of testing per product, which they do not have. Now we have a new technology downstairs we're developing. That screen's going to go through a lot of testing. And again, your products just don't test them. I don't get that part. You know, if they did testing on their products, they wouldn't fall victimized to half of the stuff they have to scrutiny and victimized to half of the stuff they have to go through because their products are not properly tested. Now, let's go over here. I'm going to pull something up real quick. And this is where the customer has to be careful and ask questions about screen paint products. Have they been tested? Because again, you're going to put something on your wall that can match a house paint at the end of the day. That's the last thing you want. You don't want that nonsense. Okay, let me see here. Now, the same thing about these fake gunmetal screens, and I've seen the fake gunmetal screens. Again, the tests we're doing downstairs, they're not going to be able to match those tests because you're going to have to go against certified gunmetal. If you're developing a gunmetal screen, you have to go against gunmetal technology. And on top of that, you should be doing a ton of white level tests because that gunmetal is really dark. The screen has to be to maintain a white level, and we should be seeing more tests on those too also. On top of that, again, gunmetal is not that light. That's called charcoal gray. It's not even gunmetal. Let me see. Where are you? I know we submitted it. looking for something here. All right, let's go over to, let me see. We need to go to, where are you at? In here somewhere. Shit. I can do something really quick. Now we're going to be putting our test demonstrations up as a challenge again. This will be 3 times that we submitted that challenge. And the reason why we're doing this is because, like I said, I see a lot of people faking, cutting corners when it comes to gray screen paint products, doing horrible jobs at it. And again, if you can beat and match the demonstrations of the 2.0, mind, like I said, these products that make people sell, they want $90 for a quart of paint, and it's just too much. Let me see. We need, where's the history? Shifting history is what we need. All right, this is what I'm looking for. Here we go. There's you. There is you. I need this right here. Look at that. Right. And copy it again. I need to go back to, let me see, here. All right, let's see. United States Postal Service. There we go. We'll submit that. I just sent PayPal your tracking number just a few minutes ago, so they have a record of the transaction. So just in case, if he does send it back, whatever he does with it, we have the tracking number showing that it was verified where it went to. Now, do we care about his review? No, we really don't care at the end of the day. The beta tester is going to be putting up his test pretty soon, so you'll get a chance to see on his end. He's got it from the same, the same thing. So if his product comes up looking any different, we all know he tampered with it, which he usually does. Best bet, the way he went into the whole Karen call was basically, for him, the best thing to do is just basically just send it back. That's what he'll do. Because if he even tests it, and again, it's not going to go well for him. He can't pass the screen paints test demonstrations. We made him challenges. And if he can't pass that, then he's not going to be able to pass the product. He can't tamper with it, he can't mess with it. And he has to match the beta tester, which will be in a fully lit environment with that screen paint. And he will not be in a fully lit environment because his screen paint can't pull up in a fully lit environment. That's what a lot of people don't realize. When you watch this guy do demonstrations on some of the certified screens I've seen him try to do, those environments are dark. And the reason why they're dark is because the certified screen doesn't have an issue pulling up in a fully lit environment. It's the product that he makes that has the problem. That's why he does the demonstrations in the dark. That's why we've requested several times for him to do demonstrations in the fully lit environment. Not that environment, that so-called fake environment. I'm talking about the real deal. And that's another thing I don't see. I don't see people doing really demonstrations in fully lit environments. But then again, he does claim his product not to be ambient light rejection, but you want to sell it like it is ambient light rejection. Our technology is ambient light rejection for gray screen paint. Ours is $38. Your product is $90. The other gun's $160. And y'all really have no ambient light rejection technology? Are you kidding me? No. Come on. Partes is even worse. So Parte has a 4-coat application. Who in their right mind is going to paint a screen 4 times? It's too much work. And not to be rude here, but this is a fellow who talked a lot of trash. We talked about him being the king as posted on the website, where Crystal Edge technology screen has ran from you. Oh, I talk about delusion, people. Talk about not being grounded at the end of the day. We're the ones with the cancellations, not you at the end of the day, Parte. We can remind you on this one, we have $700 worth of cancellations from you. Even we have videos where we actually pull the entire marketplace down to keep us from buying any more stuff from you. So yeah, and we want a couple of PayPal disputes on you on top of that, even top it off. But yet we're the ones running, and every time we turn around, his website is closed, like it's closed right now. So let's see, around in September we first placed orders, and then the site went down. Popped open somewhere around November, December. We bought samples from him, got the money back on the account. Site completely shut down again. Popped up again in January 2022. We went back and bought 3 of his products, got our money put back on the account again. Site shut down again. Opened up again in July the 25th. Shut down again. So it doesn't sound like a person at the end of the day is standing his ground. It sounds like a person that's actually constantly retreating. Now, as for Crow's products, well, hey, your products match the house paint at the end of the day. A house paint, a shelf paint that the consumer can take off the shelf and do the exact same thing. And if he sits there and argues that one by saying, well, no, yes, it is true. We had the deleted videos on our account showing that these videos are no longer around, and we actually caught you actually trying to remove the video and mark it private. You, on the other hand, we've got about $1,600 worth of cancel orders. So for you guys to be on there talking all this nonsense about how your products are supposed to be the best of the best, you have no testing on your products whatsoever. I will submit again today another 3rd challenge for the 2.0 to complete all tests in the 3-hour timeline it took us for testing that product. And you have to be in the same amount of lighting that we have downstairs. None of that dark environment. Oh, that environment is just such a shame. It's dark in there, and then he has a nerve to put lights in the environment. You're putting lights in a dark environment to make it look like it's well lit? Come on. No, cut it out. Cut it out. And this is a person who wants to accuse people of using smoke and mirrors, but yet your entire environment is a lie. The whole environment is a complete lie. It means every demonstration you've ever done in that apartment, that dark, has been a complete lie. Telling customers they're going to pick up a contrast level that dark, wouldn't that be your projector doing most of the work when it comes to that? Telling your customers that they're picking up perfect picture quality, wouldn't that be the projector that's doing all that work? That's like me going over here and getting a $50,000, 10,000 lumen, 8K Christie projector, a monster. Stick it in here and hit the screen. It says, yes, you're getting this from the paint. You're going to get this amazing image. You're going to get this amazing. That's all coming from the projector. Unless you can show something where you're bringing in like these low, cheap projectors that nobody will touch and nobody want, you're still getting an outstanding screen. That's a different story. But all that's coming from the P2. Sorry. That's not coming from your machine. That's not coming from your screen paint. If that were the case, all your customers would have the exact same image you have. If that was coming from your screen, but they don't have the same image you have, so it shows it's coming from the projector, not the paint. And at that, that's pretty sad for a projector, for specifications on the P2 to be that powerful and basically to be belittled that badly. Because it should look much better than that. I mean, much, much better than that in a well-lit environment. It's a 3,000 lumen projector. My projectors on the floor are 36. Yeah. And my screen for my setup is 150 inches. Now, I see a lot of the certified screens do this. They'll take a projector, high-end, stick it on a 100-inch screen because, again, this is going to be, to them, a 100-inch screen is a big screen, but for that projector to be that close to the screen, no distance there to begin with, so it's not going to lose a lot of lumens, so it's going to maintain its brightness, and then to have it compressed into 100 inches, which means it's going to have very little light in the environment. It's going to make contact with the screen. My screen's 150 inches. Do you see the size of this monster I have in here? That's my screen. That thing can't avoid light if it wanted to. The light's going to nail it no matter what. It's going to nail that screen. So the reason why they don't expand their screens to that larger size, because it's going to take in a ton of light. And this is a screen it's going to have and a hard time trying to maintain in a fully lit environment. That's why you see the delusion of illustrated light in the environment, which is actually all fake. So what they'll do is they'll darken the environment, Put a little light in there to make it seem like the environment's well lit. A lot of white lights behind the back of the screen, little white lights peppered out in the corners, stuff like that to give it the ability that the area is well lit. Well, you're using LED lights. See how I had the LED lights running in here? See how they don't basically give off that back splash display? Because the lights we have in here cancel it out. So if you were in a fully lit environment, your backlights wouldn't even pull up. Yep. So I'm going to check something here real quick. I'm going to have a look at this. Now keep in mind, no, this person didn't, people think, oh, he's doing this because he must be like, no, I'm not lashing out. It's just, it is what it is. Your gray screen paint products cost too much money. They don't do what they're designed to do. You don't pass any test whatsoever. You depend on high-end projectors to be to boost your screen's ability, and you stay in dark environments. When you do contrast levels, you literally have to get up and walk over to a screen to show a contrast level. That means every time somebody watches a movie like Star Wars or Underworld or Batman, they're going to have to get up and slide their chair all the way over to the screen so they can make out the contrast levels, because clearly that's what you just stated when you did that. They should be to stand back at a distance and still be to see the black levels with no problem. Yeah, you don't have enough tests. The UB and the Frankenstein, we've had the UB here, I've had the Frankenstein here. The UB and the Frankenstein aren't that far off in color shades. They really aren't, by about 1 tablespoon off. And the thing about the UB mix when we had over here for testing, it pulled up extremely horrible white levels, very bad. Contrast level was okay on it, color was okay on it, but the white levels were extremely poor. You couldn't even beat a certified screen with that because the daylight screen's white levels are actually outstanding, and it was able to beat your screen with no problem whatsoever. So yeah, you don't do enough testing. Now, when we do the gunmetal downstairs, you will be given a challenge for the gunmetal, which means you'll have to match that technology's test. Good luck on that one, because that screen's dark. I think that may be the darkest gunmetal we have so far. And again, I can't express this enough. You do not have gunmetal. Stop calling the Frankenstein. Stop calling the UV mix gunmetal. It is not. It is charcoal gray. That's what it is. Charcoal gray. A gunmetal screen is so dark gray that they're mistaken for black screens. That's how dark they are. You don't have that. So that's misleading your customers. Definitely misleading your customers. Shouldn't do that. Let me see real quick on this one. Now, as for Goose Screen, well, Goose Screen's been around for a while. Goose Screen's one actually started the ball rolling to begin with when it came to screen paints. Their products are really, really expensive. They are really expensive. And they don't make any darker products. They don't. They make a lot of mid-gray. That's basically about the darkest they get. But they've been around for a while. I've actually painted in a Goose Screen. I hope they changed it because it was some work. But I hope they did change it. Could we beat a Goose Screen? Oh, heck yeah. Easy. Hey, Goose Screens are easy to take down. It's a light gray screen. Light gray or mid-gray. Gunmetal we got downstairs. 2.0 would take that down with no problem. That's not a hard thing to do. What's the other one we got going on here? The other screen paints. All the other ones that I've seen on eBay, they're basically priced at under 50 bucks. Now, the only ones you see priced at 80 bucks because they'll come with like 3 quarts or something like that. That's what they'll come with. But I've tested their products, and they don't lie in their specifications. They really don't. They tell it like it is. Mind you, the other individual told you that his product, the Cinemax, could pull a contrast level dark enough to match a black screen. Yeah, that's interesting. Dark enough to match a black screen. Yeah, sure. And yet the 2.0 does not match the Network Gray 773 on any level whatsoever. Not in contrast levels, not in color, it doesn't match it. And yet you matched the Network Gray perfectly in color and contrast and just about everything else, white levels too. So how is it possible that the Cinemax pulls a contrast level darker than the black screens we have in here, but yet for some reason when it came to the Network Gray 773, it matched it? And the 2.0 doesn't match Network Gray 773. And that's our basic gray screen paint at $38. So if that product doesn't match it, how in the world are you going to beat a black screen? That's why I said this person just, both of them, they lie a lot. They lie a lot on camera. Yeah, I'm still waiting to see that stacking system, which I'll never ever see. We know it's never going to happen. Multi-quantum stacking system. No one else comes up with these lies but these guys. No one. Only they come up with these lies. Now, again, if the Cinemax, as he claims it does, pulls a contrast level equal to a black screen, then we gave you a test demonstration of doing that, and you failed it. You didn't do it. You never did it. Jamie was supposed to go into a fully lit environment, not that fake environment he keeps doing over again. I'm talking about like that place up as in the first day you moved into that apartment. Like when the customer showed, or whoever he was, showed what the product looked like, what it really looks like when the cameras are off. Put it in that environment. Because I know you can bring that environment back. It's not a problem. Just got to open up them windows and let that light push in that environment. That's what you got to do. Instead of blocking it with bookcases and everything else. And what you do is you take black paint, you stick that right next to your screen, and we want to see the Cinemax blend into that black paint and disappear, which would show that your screen paint can pull a contrast level high enough to blend in. Oh, and by the way, you can't use the P2 projector. Sorry. You have to use a 720p projector with maybe 1,000 or 2,000 to 1 contrast ratio. That's it. And you're going to be at a distance when you do it. Because being up close, that means you get an vantage point because your projector is sitting literally on top of the screen. But at 13 feet back in a fully lit environment, yeah, your lumen count is going to drop extremely fast. Well, I guarantee you'll never see that one done. No. So let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Now, his tracking number. This package is still in transit. So just want to check and make sure that you are still in transit. I can't show you his tracking information. That'd be wrong. But yeah, he's still in transit right now. So your option's coming up, buddy. Beta tester's gonna be waiting. He's got an option. Now, keep in mind, if he decides to return the item, which I think he's gonna do, because there's no other way around it. If he decides to return the item, it's still a fail. You do know that, right? Because you had the item literally in your hand and you denied it. So it clearly shows at the end of the day that you basically have accepted that the 2.0 is better. And there's many ways we basically prove that. The screen paint has a challenge under its test. If you don't even need our paint to do that. Just take your product and match every test under the 2.0. That's what you would have to do. Not in that dark environment again, in a well-lit environment like we have downstairs, which means you're going to have to really light that area up to do it. And you run every single test. And keep in mind, in the 2.0 test, it was peppered out with the network grade 773. You will have to beat that screen, including the certifies that screen had to go through. Yeah, that's what I said. It's going to be a rough one. If you ever seen the test on the 2.0, the tests were brutal. But that screen passed. It did exactly what it was designed to do. And you guys want that kind of money. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to prove to your customer that your product is, well, that's going to be hard to do. You match house paint. See, I keep going back to that. You match that Sherman-Williams. You have to conquer that one first. You're going to have to basically show that you don't match. Yeah, you're going to have to do something because, yeah, you match the house paint. That is, like I said, told people, that's the last thing you want to match is a house paint. You don't want to do that. Now, the reason why he won't do the test next to 2.0, again, there's network grade involved in it. He doesn't want his paint mixed in with that. Even more importantly, what about the rest of your products? Let's forget the Cinemax for right now. Let's talk about the other products you have. Have they been properly tested? Your products need to have at least a 3-hour test on each one of them. Our products do. I'm about to start another one downstairs. I got a gunmetal going on downstairs that we're working on. That's going to have 3 or 4 hours worth of testing. We got 7 of the exotics. Every last one of them got to go through testing. And yet you guys are bringing out these products with no testing. Where's your 3 hour and 4 hours of testing? You don't have any yet at all, period. I've seen your test demonstrations for, what's the Frankenstein I saw for? Poor, extremely poor. Dark environment, showing your colors off against your own screen paint. Are you kidding me? Seriously. Where's the certified screens at? As a matter of fact, as long as you've been making screen paint, both of you, where's your certified collection? Because you should have a great deal of certified screens to test your products under, and you do not have this. Your projectors, how many projectors do you own? Now, you don't even have enough projectors at the end of the day to be doing any testing. The 2.0 did a multi-projector swap out. That means it doesn't have to depend on a projector to make it look good. Well, just tells you people, you have to do your research and ask these questions. Ask the questions. Say, hey, look, can I see that screen in a fully lit environment with some contrast levels? Because what I'm used to seeing when I go in and I look for these demonstrations, I'm used to seeing demonstrations where contrast levels are in the dark, but the colors are always with the lights on. Ask questions. Say, hey, look, I want to see that in a fully lit environment, and I want to see the contrast levels. I guarantee that screen will wash out. Or don't tell me to do a demonstration other than using that constant crutch projector, the P2. Constantly using that machine. Like I said, you two remind me of, and I'm not calling you ladies, but you remind me of a lady with her favorite pair of shoes. She can have all the shoes in the world, but she just has that one particular pair that make her maybe seem like she's 6 feet tall, or maybe, maybe just makes her feel like she's just absolutely amazing at the end of the day. That's what your projector is. Your projector is a pair of high heel shoes. That one favorite pair of shoes. And all the shoes that she owns, when she has banquets and get-togethers and parties, she will pick those shoes. You know what I'm talking about. She will pick those shoes no matter what. She'll still go out tomorrow and buy a whole bunch of shoes, but she will always wear those pair of shoes. Once in a blue moon, she may wear something else, but she's not the same person without those shoes. That's how you guys are with your projectors. Same way. Meanwhile, us, well, we got lots of shoes and we like to switch it up. But you guys, on the other hand, you just like those favorite pair of shoes. Yeah. Should have wrote fortune cookies. But that's what it comes down to. So to the consumer, you have to get more money out of what you pay for. Now, for you gentlemen that want to talk about black technology, you're really not in the area to talk about black technology because you can't even make gray screen paint correctly. We do. That's why we have to test to back our products up, and you don't. So we can easily say, hey, look, we got black tech. What about black technology? Our black technology has tests underneath of it you can't even pass. You can't even pass the 2.0 right now. And when you think about it, when it comes to black technology, there's no certified screen right now, which I haven't seen of yet, that has black technology. And our black technology can take out certified screens far less than what people pay for them. Our 2.0 can take out your products far less than what people will pay for them. And our gunmetal technology, which will be launching soon, will be more advanced than the gunmetal on the market. And it will be to take that out with no problem, far less than what they charge for gunmetal. So I figured that out when I was making the 2.0, when I was making the gray screen paint. I figured, why not make a gunmetal version of it? And that way we can have light gray screen paints, where we have our white paints, which is we call it our white screen, the 2.0. But we have a gray screen paint. And then we call it the white screen print of our products. We have the gunmetal technology, and now we have the ultra black. So I wouldn't mention the black screens because it's not your category. That black technology you're seeing all throughout that room down there, that technology was designed for certified screens. That was designed to take out a certified. You are nowhere in the category to stand next to one of those screens. If you can't beat the 2.0, what gives you the right to stand next to that technology? There you go. So we'll put our test out as another challenge again. Those who haven't seen the test, I'll post it below. Our tests are posted to the website. That's another thing too. We know why your products don't work, because you don't post your test demonstrations on your website. you have 6 missing videos, which we now have in our possession. For those who don't know that, these are videos that they deleted off their account to try to get rid of them because the evidence was too heavy, and they would refuse to post these particular videos to the website, like the Network Gray versus the Cinemax. Yeah, they went missing pretty quick. Even the other one that just came up, that popped up, that also too went missing. So you're afraid to post these to your site, and you should be posting to your site because this is how you keep it honest with your customers. Anytime customers come in to buy from us, we have test demonstrations, pictures, all kinds of stuff. Customers, reviews, we can send all that information. This is my customer right here. This is the screen being tested here, tested there, so blah, 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 right on the website, right there. You guys can't even say it at the end of the day. Hey, if you want to check out my product next to Network Grade 773, check it on it. You don't have it on the website because you try to get rid of the video. That's why. That would be Crow who try to get rid of the video, not Partey. Partey doesn't put any test demonstrations up. He just talks a lot on camera and doesn't back it up. That whole multi-quantum process. No, buddy, your screens do not fuse together. That is a lie. And keep in mind, if I'm wrong on this, please do a demonstration, do a detailed demonstration showing them that I'm a liar at the end of the day. What I'm talking about right now is not true, because it's virtually impossible on how you're going to fuse a screen to another screen that's completely dry. That's just basic common sense. Anyone would pick that up. That's like if I paint that wall blue, I paint it orange and yellow and green, it's going to change into something. It's going to morph into something completely different. How would that happen if you say in your instructions that you have to wait for each screen to dry, has to settle for 2 to 3, and then it has to be dry to the touch? If it's dry to the touch, how is it going to be able to make contact with the other screen and fuse together if they're both dry to the touch? How does that work? I'm curious to see how that works. And then to say in the video, if you paint it again, the 5th time, it's slightly brighter. Oh, please. Don't just show us how this actually works, because I'm dying to see this. And how he can do this easily. All he would have to do is make one would be the final, which would have all 4 steps. And each one he would make, he would skip a step for each one, but have the final screen on every last one of them. Which means if he skipped, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, he just skip 1, like take out 2, take out 3 in that one, take out so forth in the next one, but you would have the final screen for each one. Now, if one of the elements were missing out of that, and say this screen on this side became dark and really dirty and you can't see it, and then you would add that back and it would get brighter, then we can see there's a change there. Other than that, they're all doing the same thing, then that doesn't mean jack. And you know reason why I tell you that your theory is crap, and I'll tell you why it's crap? Honestly, you match the screen in your theater room. You match your theater wall. Your theater wall doesn't have a stacking system. Your theater wall is basically everyday theater painter, right? What kind of paint you have in there to have that color in your environment. And you went through that entire process trying to tell people about the stacking system and the how you put distilled water to the delivery system and all this other Star Trek nonsense, just to have it turn around and match your wall perfectly, which was actually off a shade, but it still matched your wall perfectly. So why in the world would I go through that whole entire process? I'll just get the same color your wall is and just be done with it. That was a complete lie. That water system you're talking about, you put water in it to thin out the paint, to make it very thin. That's what you do. So feels like it has a different texture to it. So you can tell people it's the skin, it's not a paint. It's a paint with water in it. You put distilled water in it, and that's why when you say when you get it, it's going to separate. Of course it's going to separate. That's just common sense, it's going to separate. Oh, my goodness. You guys, at the end of the day, you guys remind me of freaking the Wild Wild West. You would always have that old rickety wagon that would drive into town. And you had 2 people that were running this gig. You had one guy, he was a salesman. He would sit there and he would tell all this nonsense about this magic elixir of water that you would drink and it would heal all ailments. And then you would have the person in the crowd. He would be part of the group, but he would act like he wasn't part of the group. He would come in like he's a sick stranger, and he would come up and you would give him a little bit of this magic water, and all of a sudden he'd be dancing out in the street. He'd just be healed. That's the catch. And then people would just be grabbing it, just be buying it and buying it and buying it. And then later on, when you're out of town and far, far away, they would realize that they got duped because it didn't work at all, period. Usually people like that, when they end up in the next town or maybe a couple of towns over, there's always somebody that recognizes who they are. And usually these are people at the end of the day. I'm not trying to say it's going to happen that way, but that's what would happen in these movies, would get hung. Either they would hang them or far worse than that. Or usually they look at him and go, wait a minute, you look familiar. Like, no, 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 no. You look familiar. Weren't you over in a town selling some magic water or so and so and so? And yeah, that's how it starts before you hear the bang bang. But anyway, yeah, that's what you guys remind me of. Snake oil salesman. That's what you remind me of. Let's see. Say what you want. Do. Let me see. Well, I can tell by his talking, we have rowdied up a very angry person. He's upset because he wants to file a lawsuit. Okay, so what you suing me for? Let's see, your product doesn't have any patents on it. You have no copyrights on your name whatsoever. And you've been scamming people for years on a product that you may claim that is something that it's not. Hey, have your lawyer contact me. I got no problem with that. I'll explain to him about all the stuff that you did, copyright infringements and everything. And I guarantee you, after that conversation with your lawyer, when he sees a substantial amount of evidence and all the things that you've committed, how we busted you and caught you on certain things, especially touching my copyrights that are registered with the U.S. government, I think he's going to go back and tell you to keep your mouth shut. But have him contact me. Until then, you got problems, buddy. Because you got to turn around and you're going to have to be able to come up with a decision. Your decision you're going to have to come up with is, are you going to keep the product or are you going to basically send it back? I got your money waiting for you, just letting you know. Now, if you send it back, it's not going to help you in any way. What excuse will you have at all to say that, well, I don't feel like doing it or this? No, that's an excuse. That's an excuse. You have the product right in your hand. If you test the product and the product beats your product, and it will, and keep in mind, don't forget to put that network gray in it. All the test network gray has to be in there. Don't worry about keep that in there. And you're going to have to beat the beta tester. And on top of that, you can't get around with faking the product. Because mind you, this was an individual who was saying he got it from a friend or maybe an angry customer, and the package would get there open. So he would probably mix black paint or whatever and tamper with it to have it come out looking that, oh, I forgot, we got a lawsuit on that too. On top of that, you're going to have to come into court for that one, and you're going to have to be able to prove that our products come up that dark. If not, that's another lawsuit you're going to get slammed with. So I forgot to tell you about that one. It's called slander. You know what I mean? So yeah. But anyway, let's move on with there. So that's what he was doing. This time around, Crow ordered from us, since it's an actual order from our website. This time, you're going to have to be able to, you got a product that you can't open up, you can't tamper with, has batch numbers attached to it, and has a video demonstration showing the product was shipped out before it was sent to you. On top of that, the tester also has it also. That's going to be really hard to get around. You can't tamper with it. Now, he tried to get out of it by basically filing a false complaint through PayPal by saying that we agreed to give him back his money, which we never did. We agreed to ship it to your front door. That I did promise. So that didn't work. He lost his claim on that. We still had the item here. We still shipped it out to him. He sent back another email talking about, oh, I don't want the product now, blah, blah. That sounds like an excuse to me. So we sent it anyway. Now, you can't say someone stole from you or this, that, and the other. No, because you still have the option to send it back. The only problem, that is going to hurt you a lot to do that, because that's going to prove even more that you can't take the product on. Now keep in mind, you still have the test demonstrations to do. You have a third challenge coming in today. And the third challenge will be that we are asking you again to back your product to complete all test demonstrations under 2.0. We know you don't have time today. Tomorrow, you get it done tomorrow. Do 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 do. Let me see. I think we're gonna put this one. Oh, whoever placed the order, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Much obliged. Thank you so much. We'll check and see what you got, and we'll get ready to get you processed for shipping. Because we got a ship out date tomorrow. Actually, Thursday, we got a ship out date coming up. Now, I don't want you gentlemen thinking that I'm coming at you in a way where it has anything to do with being hostile. It's not being hostile. I don't like how you do business. You cheat people, you steal from people, and you give the industry a black eye with that snake oil paint. This is the reason why I told you from the beginning I had no interest in gray technology. We just didn't have the interest in it at all, period. But seeing the way you guys are swindling and stealing from people, you do the exact same thing these big companies do when they make these fake, knockoff, cheap projectors and try to convince people that they're getting these amazing machines when they're just getting nothing but boxes of trash. That's what they're getting. That's what you guys do. You're the same as they are. So I stepped in to basically make a better product for the customer that costs less for the customer, and the customer can get a much bigger screen. You have what? $90 for 32 ounces. We have $38 for 40 ounces. Our screens can paint over a 150-inch screen easily. That's the reason why I'm doing it. Same thing like that fake gunmetal paint you got. That is fake gunmetal. That's not real gunmetal, but you want to pass it off like a real gunmetal. No, it's not. How many gunmetal certified screens have the Frankenstein and UV mix taken on? How many? And I'm not talking about in the dark. I'm talking about fully lit environment, because gunmetal screens are ambient light rejection technology. They can consume light. Have you ever tested against black diamond? I don't see you doing that one. And that is a monster of a screen right there. That's why I said if we're going to be challenging, if I could, I would challenge all my technology versus black diamond. Black diamond is worth the challenge. I mean, the other technology we make or have over here that they have is good. Yeah, daylight and all that, but black diamond is a beast to be reckoned with. And if you could take that screen down, my goodness, you got some powerful technology, don't you? So, that's what you should be doing. How many certified screens has your gunmetal been tested against? Has it passed any of the white level tests? And then you say it's not ambient light rejection? Are you kidding me? How backwards is that? I never even heard of a gunmetal screen that's not ambient light rejection. We got to think about that one right there. There we go. There's a new topic right there. Just popped in my head that fast. Oh my goodness, these people at the end of the day, just do your job correctly. Are you kidding me? I just thought about that. How in the world are you claiming to have a gunmetal screen that's not ambient light rejection? Gunmetals are ambient light rejection screens. They're darker screens. They have that capability. They have a better capability of producing an ambient light rejection technology than a mid-gray or even a light gray screen. That screen is designed to absorb light. How in the world do you have a screen that's supposed to be a Frankenstein and you call it it's not ambient light rejection and it's gunmetal? Oh, that's so backwards. That is so backwards. I've never seen a screen that dark that's not ambient light rejection. That is really backwards. See, he messed up because before, oh my goodness, this too much. Where's this guy right here? When we first started making Frankenstein, it was really light. It was a light paint. That's what it was. And then he tried to scam us and he tried to switch it over to something darker. But he wrote on the package, it's not ambient light rejection. How do you have a paint that dark that's not ambient light rejection? Because darker screens do have ambient light rejection technology. They're designed to absorb more light because it's a darker screen. And you're calling it gunmetal? Gunmetal, he doesn't even understand the whole theory of gunmetal technology. And he's just naming stuff for the sake of just naming stuff. Just like it was worse when you had that Frankenstein, you said you had a black Frankenstein. You never even had a black Frankenstein. Well, you claim to have a black Cinemax, and we all know you don't even have that. But how in the world are you sitting there talking about how you have a gunmetal technology and it's not ambient light rejection? How is that even possible?
Every gunmetal screen that there is out there has ambient projection technology embedded into it. Because your screen's not gunmetal, that's why. You don't have one. You have a charcoal gray screen. And even at charcoal gray, that should still be ambient light projection. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is funny. So, I love it when I get spoof mail. Spoof is when somebody tells you that, hey, we've received your payment of $800 and blah, 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 blah. Good gracious, I swear. Okay. That's going to be reported over to PayPal, the security division. Oh my goodness, the dumb stuff. I don't know, people. Well, yeah, some people do fall for that stuff, but my goodness, are you kidding me? Really, seriously? People do this time, no idea why. We gotta report that to PayPal. Okay, that's all done. That's good right there. Let me see what we have going on here. All right. Thank you, Jesus. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Somebody just came in and grabbed two of the 2.0s. Thank you so much. That's the whole purpose. And enjoy. It's going to be an amazing screen paint. Oh, we got somebody who got a Chrissy LW400. That is a beautiful projector that works amazing on our screen paint. He told me he got it for $160 and he's picking up the 38 to go with it. That is going to be a nice, gorgeous setup for him. Again, $160, $69 for his projector with a $38 screen paint. He's going to have an amazing picture. That's what I told you. In a day, you're going to spend all that money. You're spending too much money. And yet you got people, like I said, and the reason why he chose that projector, because we use it in our demonstrations all the time. We use these different projectors demonstrations. That's why when people come in, they can relate to our machines. That's a $60 machine sitting there on the floor you're looking at right now. Most you pay for that projector is probably around under $200. That's it. And we get a 150-inch screen we can use it in a fully lit environment where you got somebody with a $3,300 machine that's stuck in the dark and can't even pull up proper images. Put the lights on, the screen washes out. Nothing wrong with the P2. P2 works perfectly fine. It's the screen that messes it up. So at the end of the day, how is the person going to claim to save you money when they can't save it themselves? We just saved their customer a lot of money. You got a $38 screen paint, and you purchase a projector you got for $160 because you saw it on our demonstrations. Or if anybody wants the same image that Crow was pulling up in his environments, you're going to spend $3,300 for a projector. That's what you're going to spend. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it, to get that same exact image. Because again, I said, if that's the case, and you can go buy that projector on the floor and do the same thing on his screen paint as the P2, then why would you spend $3,000 or $33,000 for a P2 and just buy that projector right there? Save yourself a whole lot of money. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, good, man. We got the containers coming in tomorrow, so that's good. Containers coming in. We can get them knocked out real quick. All right. All right, so look, people, I'm not going to go on and on and on with this, but the whole purpose of it all, and I need them to understand, gentlemen, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and you're going to have to work harder. That's what you're going to have to do. All this cutting corners, all this fake mumbo jumbo nonsense on camera, from now on, whatever you talk about, you're going to have to be to back it up. That's how it comes. Can't be coming through running your mouth about all this Mickey Mouse Roadrunner nonsense. You have to back it up. None of these fake dark environments and all that other nonsense. You've been a lot of smoke and mirrors that you like to pull off on your customers. That stuff is phony at the end of the day. Crow, at the end of the day, I really would like to see you do a demonstration in your real environment, what it really looks like. Not that objects blocking the screen and dark environment, sitting too close to the screen. You can't see the back of the environment. Oh, my goodness, I swear. Just do your job right. Goodness gracious. And fake. Come on. Your screen paint doesn't pull the same black level as a black screen. Stop that. Just stop that. Just stop it. Just stop it. That's no. I'm sorry, not going to happen. Gunmetals don't even pull the same as a black screen. How in the world is your stuff doing it? Ah! What the freak, man? So next thing too, we're going to dig into is your fake gunmetal, because it is fake. You can go with a, I'm gonna get that Dragonfly today. I want that Dragonfly so bad. It's an amazing screen. I have to see what it looks like next to my technology. But anyway, as I said before, we're gonna put the challenges up for the Infinity Black gunmetal versus your product, and let's see if you can match all test demonstrations. The black screens and darker screens have more brutal demonstrations. You thought the 2.0s are brutal. No, when it comes to the darker screens, their demonstrations are a lot more harder. We don't expect the 2.0 to actually be able to maintain contrast, not maintain certified screens, but surprisingly it did. Out of 9 certifieds, it knocked out 8 of them. 1 of them matched. The comment is going to be something else when we get done with it. All right, people. Well, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. The reason why we do this is because, like I said, I get tired of people making these fake products at the end of the day. The reason why we have these black screens in here is because these black screens were designed not for the gray screen paint products, please. They were designed for, I'm not saying please to you guys, please to the guys who think for some reason on the same level as black technology. They were designed for certified screens. So customers wouldn't have to go out and spend $3,000, $5,000 for a screen. Your technology is designed to do it right here with no problem. All right, so with that being said, have to go. Thank you all, and God bless.